So what is going on, guys? This is Taste. I'm bringing you another Call of Duty commentary here on the Endeavour gaming channel. This one is featuring gameplay from Rambo playing Demolition on standoff. It took me ages to work out what this was because I've had the gameplay for a couple of days and I was just watching it and I was like, I have to work out what gameplay this is because I've lost the folder name that told me. But yes, that's definitely what it is. And he's sniping for the majority of it, I'm not gonna lie. He does extremely well with it though. So I'll let you enjoy that while I talk about random stuff, to be honest. And so I've been back. I've come back from uni now. I'm done with uni, and well, I say I'm done with uni. I'm hopefully going to get back in next year and do uni again. But for the moment, I'm done with uni for the summer. So I've come back home. I got home yesterday. It was probably sort of mid-afternoon, and then I was just lazing about the house for a little bit. And then parents had to go back out. My little brothers and sisters had got back home. So I was on babysitting duty for a little while, but I pretty much passed out at about 10. Like, I was just sat on the city in the living room watching whatever was on TV. I hate TV, can't stand watching TV, so I was just watching whatever was going on. I ended up watching Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and it was terrible. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like, it was just one of them classic sort of, I'm gonna go on a revengeful killing spree against some weird ass thing that's dead hard to kill for no reason whatsoever, and it'll all go tickety-boo, but with a bit of plot twist that doesn't really have any effect because you fell asleep at the end. It was one of them film watching experiences, I'm not gonna lie. And I watched that, fell asleep, got up this morning, went to my gran's, and now I'm here doing this. And I've been thinking of something to do a commentary on for a little while, but I couldn't really think of anything, so I'm just gonna rattle on about my life. And I got back from my gran's today, and I got the weirdest text. Well, I say it's the weirdest text. It's not the weirdest text until you start thinking like I do about things. But anyway, I'll read it quickly. I'll ignore place names and people, so I'll literally use the words place and people. So it goes like this: Hi, I'm back in place and have a cash in hand job for someone in July. It's based in place near previous place. And do you know anyone who is free and available? I'm asking around, so please help me. Can you all also ask person and person, because I don't have their numbers, and if you can think of someone, point them in my direction, please. So I was like, alright, that's definitely where I live, even though the number's not in my phone. I possibly know the person, otherwise how do they have my number? So I'll just text them back, you know, it'll be fine. So I go, who are you and what is this job you're offering? And I got this text back, sorry, I put the wrong number in, I presume this is Ben? If so, I'm an old classmate. And at this point, I'm like, well, that's a little bit weird. And then a minute later they send me, oh, but if you are interested in the job, do let me know ASAP, yeah? I'm like, right, so what you are telling me is an quote-unquote old classmate has got a cash-in-hand job in the middle of fucking nowhere, random as fuck, the day after I get back from uni. Right. This is how action films start, ladies and gentlemen. That is what's going on here. Surely. I'm going to be the next transporter. I'm going to haul my ass down there to wherever this job's supposed to be, and I'm going to be like, so, what's going on? And there's just body bags all over the place, some unnaturally large person in a suit with an earpiece and an Uzi, and I'm going to be like, what? But, you know, I don't ask too many questions. Money's money, so if that's what it is, that's what it is. Main problem being I've only got a push bike though, so I don't know quite how that's going to work, you know, start dragging body bags around on a push bike, people are going to start looking suspiciously, you know, just drag one over the handlebars, it's going to turn some heads. But, yeah, well, that's what was going through my mind at the time. Turns out that is not the case. I did get a text like somewhat like an hour later. Like, I've only recently got it. It's currently 4:08, and I got the text at 4:45. So not long ago, I got the text back saying that it was distillation of roses. It's just manual work and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's fairly boring actually. But you know, I'll keep to my ask not too many questions and money's money and go, yeah, why not? I'll have a little look at that. But it weirded me out to start off with, because old classmate, they still haven't told me who they are. I have no idea who sent me this text. Old classmate. Like, why be so vague? Why? What is the point? But I remember back in the day we used to use names. Nah. But that's what's happened since I've been back from my gran's. While I was at my gran's though, a slightly weird event also happened where my mum and my gran are having their usual vague gossipy conversation, and You know, for those of you that watch soaps, I don't before we start a conversation about that, but my dad does, so when I go to my dad's I often sit and watch like a couple episodes of them, because there's not a lot else to do. And there's, in Coronation Street, there's that shopkeeper Norris and that, and he's all up in everyone's stuff. Right? They're like a more subtle version of that. But they're having this conversation about this person, and like, they're just nattering about their personal lives and stuff like this, and then all of a sudden they come up to this great discovery between the lot of them as to this mystery about this person's life they'd previously unsolved. And my god, the excitement and joy and the speed at which they all started moving around was ridiculous. It was like some form of comedy sketch where they were just sat there, oh, you know what's it from the what's it over there, and we were talking about how they'd done this with this, and now I don't really know what was going to become of it, and then someone brings up the answer, oh, so that's what it was. Oh my god, the phone had to be found. Wow, it was just like within 10 seconds they got it. They were ringing up people. They were like, oh, you know what's it from the what's it with the thing? Yeah, I know all about it now. My god, I swear they have some sort of committee. They all sit round in a they all sit round at the round table with their hoods on, like some kind of cult clan, you know, like the neighborhood watch from Hot Fuzz, like that sort of thing. And they have that little bit at the beginning, like you know, in Hot Fuzz where they're like, they're going to have a baby, all of that thing at the beginning. Yeah, it's like that, but that's the meeting. That's like the whole meeting. There's just all of that. I could imagine that happening, except like it's with elderly people, because elderly people are always up on their gossip, and it's pretty funny. You have to admit, anyone that's seen an elderly person get excited about gossip, it's hilarious. But yeah, that's what's going on, because I always go down on Thursdays-ish, like sometime midweek, and it was the day after I got back, so I was like, yeah, I'll go over there and see him. I mainly sit there and read The Sun, to be honest, like, while they're having all their gossipy conversations where I couldn't care less, you know. So, The Sun's a terrible newspaper though. No one really gets The Sun for the news, I'm not gonna lie. Those of you that have read The Sun, you know what's going on. Those of you that haven't, or obviously are not from the UK, do not get The Sun, or read The Sun, and it is your classic sort of, they have far more trivial things to talk about than the actual news that's going on. They're very tabloidy paper. But they had all the stuff about that hate cleric. I can't pronounce his name or overly remember it. It's not difficult. It's not one of them ones you look at it and you're like, whoa, how the hell do you say that? Like, you could get a good guess at it. It's just you could get 2 or 3 good guesses that are all different, and I don't really know. But he's the one that was sprouting on all of his hate stuff, and everyone was really getting at him. And then there was one of the top people from the Met were on it, and he basically released a media statement going, God, this woman seems to think that everyone doesn't know the law, or at least hope that they don't, so she could do her job. I know what I'm doing. I will say whatever hate I want and keep it within the law, so you can do nothing about it. And then there was the thing with the soldier getting beheaded in the street, on his way to the barracks and stuff like that. Well, I've just got a pop-up, that's not good. Anyway, and he was on the way back from the street and got headed by 2 absolute mental cases. And yeah, he was talking about that, and he said how the victim of that, because they weren't Muslim, is going to burn in hell, and how the people that did it are probably really nice guys. And you're just like, whoa, what kind of drugs are you on? Like, he's just an absolute mentalist. And there was like 3 or 4 papers where that was on the front page and stuff like that. But we were looking through it, and I've mentioned that I might talk about him in a commentary, which I might do if I can get enough information and work out how to pronounce his name. And a gameplay that's shorter than this one, because I can't just have one topic in a gameplay as long as this. Like, this is quite a long gameplay. So, thinking about that, so my mum started going through the papers looking for stories, and I think my brother's about to ruin my commentary by talking to me, but if he does, I'll just tell him to shut up. Anyway, so I was looking through the papers while I was there, and my mum found a brilliant one, which is this Aussie bloke, and he's like 34 years old, and I don't know whether he's recently come up to this hypothesis, but he feels he is the reincarnation of Jesus. And obviously I didn't read too much into it because it was just going to be complete nonsense, which is often what you find in The Sun, but that is pretty much what was going on. And the worst part about that is I think he's actually convinced his wife that he is as well. It's quite mental. I don't really know what goes on in the mind of someone that gets that. Like, what do you do to make yourself feel you're going to be the reincarnation of Jesus? Like, what do you have to do in order to feel self-qualified for that position? I don't get it. Did he walk on water? Did he heal the blind? What has he done? Like, or does he just does he feel just pretty top about himself at the moment? I think that's more likely what's going on. I mean, I've had some pretty good days, rarely, I have to admit, but you know, sometimes I wake up in the morning and feel pretty good. I don't think I'm Jesus, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to go quite far to do that. But yeah, on the other hand of that, I am back, and I will be hopefully uploading stuff pretty regularly now. I didn't upload anything earlier in the week because I had all the packing everything up and sorting everything out at uni. Oh my god, the amount of things that went wrong at uni. Initially, I ran out of money, so I ended up getting my card declined while I was trying to buy breakfast. That's always a fun thing to do first thing in the morning, where you still don't even know you're like left from your right because you're too tired. Get your card declined, you've got to go and find change hidden in all of the pockets about your person. Luckily I managed to get through, but that's one thing that went wrong. And then after that, I went to hand in my key before I left, and I found my accommodation contract for next year, or so I thought, on the side while I was packing, and it turns out it was actually the accommodation contract for this year. So I was like, well, I'd better make sure that I'm actually meant to have a contract then. So I asked the woman, and she's like, no, there's nothing here. So I was like, well, that's not good, really, is it? And she goes, well, it might just be not processed yet. It's very unlikely, though, but you're probably better to email these people here. And I was like, well, if not, could I have the form to fill out so that I can try and get some more accommodations? She's like, oh, no, it's all gone. I'm like, oh, well, that's just great. So I've still got to find myself a house for next year on a predominant basis. And on top of that, I had this letter come through about a company me and my mate made like last year. And apparently we had to file in our annual returns, which I hadn't been told about because all of this stuff goes to him. The company's registration is through him, the office address is his, and apparently I can't file this thing through without getting an authentication code that will be sent to his office address. I can't dissolve the company without his signature on a form, and on top of that, if we don't get all of this stuff through, like pretty quickly, there was a deadline which is already passed, but apparently I'm not in too much trouble just yet, we risk like a £5,000 fine and criminal record. But, you know, that's just how it goes. You can't have everything go wrong once at a time in life, apparently. I think that's the best thing to take from this commentary. Regardless of all the talk at the beginning about trivial things, in life, everything goes wrong. All at once. So if sort of one thing goes wrong, you better start being careful. That's the best way to go. I think this VTOL's pretty much the end. I think there's possibly like 2 more minutes. But other than that, that should be fine. I'm going to try and get a vlog up on the channel. Hopefully, maybe. I mean, it's not my channel, so, and I feel it's very much a personal channel kind of thing. So if you don't want a vlog up and you'd much rather I stay with all the gameplay stuff, then leave a comment on your opinion way through that. Other than that, I'll try and put vlogs up. It'll basically be sort of to do with the stuff I was talking about at the beginning, just sort of trivial stuff that's happened to me and things like that. But it means I can get them up more it's going to be terrible English. It means I can get them up quicker, that's what it means. Because I don't need gameplay, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. But that's pretty much the end of this video. It's ended really jittery, apologies for that. But yeah, in a bit.